If you work for money, you're playing the wrong game. And this chapter explains why. This isn't about working less or cheating the system. It's about understanding why employees and owners play by completely different rules, especially when it comes to paying taxes and control. Chapter 4 of Rich Dad Poor Dad makes a different argument, that money problems are actually control problems. If you work for money, then someone else controls when you get paid, how much you get paid, how much of that is taxed, and what you'll have left over. When money works for you, you control the order, and that changes everything. This concept alone actually changed how I think about my own income streams. So there are two different games being played here. But before we hop into that, if I can ask you to just hit that like button for me, it really helps me know which videos you guys like, and it helps grow the channel. Thanks. Now, on one hand, employees earn money first, then pay taxes, then spend whatever's left. That's the game you've been playing if you're an employee. On the other hand, owners, they earn money first, spend money, and then pay taxes on whatever's left after that. That's not a loophole. That's just how the rules are written. This chapter isn't about giant corporations like we see today. We're not talking about McDonald's, Walmart, Tesla as case studies. This portion focuses in on why corporations were created in the first place, which is to protect assets and give owners the control to spend as they see fit. A corporation isn't just a business structure. It's a legal tool. It allows you to protect assets, control the timing of when money moves, and it legally reduces the tax burden of the owner. Most people hear corporations and think it just means huge company. They think of skyscrapers and hundreds of employees and complicated systems. But a corporation isn't about size. It's a container. It can be big or it can be very small. It can be one person, one asset, or even one idea. What matters here isn't scale. It's actually structure. This is where most people get tripped up. They assume corporations are for people who are already wealthy. But in reality, corporations are actually often how wealth is built, not how it's displayed. You don't become successful and then own a corporation. You often use a simple structure first, and then success grows inside it. A corporation might hold one rental property, one asset, one small business, one consulting income stream, or even intellectual property. It doesn't need employees. It doesn't need an office. It doesn't need to look impressive. It just needs to serve a purpose. The reason corporations matter isn't because they're big. It's because they give owners control. Control over how assets are held, control over how money flows, and control over how risks are separated. So in essence, don't let the word corporation scare you into staying in the employee game forever, because the structure itself isn't complicated. It's the rules around it that matter. In this chapter, Kiyosaki talks about how the law treats money differently depending on who owns it. One of the first things that corporations do is separate you from your asset. As an employee, your income and your personal life are basically merged. If something goes wrong, then you're exposed. A corporation creates a solid layer between you and what you own. That separation is protection. Not secrecy, not cheating, just structure. The second thing that a corporation allows you to control is when money moves. As an employee, the order is fixed. You earn money, then taxes are taken out, then you get to decide what to do with the money that's left. You never get to touch the money before it's taxed. Owners play a different game. Money flows into the business first, expenses happen inside the business, and taxes are calculated after. That one change, the order of operations, completely changes the outcome. So, legally reducing tax burdens. This is where people get uncomfortable, but it's important to discuss. Corporations don't reduce taxes by hiding money. They reduce taxes by following a different set of rules. You see, the tax code was written to encourage certain behaviors: building businesses, creating jobs, and investing in assets. When you operate through a corporation, you're playing inside of those incentives. Employees don't have access to most of these rules. This is why the difference between an employee and an owner compounds dramatically over time. Year after year, owners keep more and more control. They keep more flexibility and reinvest more efficiently. It's not about being smarter or even working harder. It's about playing a game where the rules reward ownership. So this chapter isn't telling everyone to go out and start a corporation tomorrow, but it is saying understand what the system is and how it works. Because once you see it, you stop blaming yourself and you start focusing on the right skills. Owners and employees aren't taxed differently by accident. They're just playing a different game, the financial IQ. Kiyosaki introduces something he calls the financial IQ. And that's basically a set of 4 skills. Number 1, accounting. Accounting is knowing how to read numbers and financial statements. The more money you manage, the more accuracy matters here. Number 2, investing. Investing is the science of money making more money. This is strategy, not luck. Number 3, understanding markets. This is simply supply and demand. Does an investment make sense given today's current market conditions? And number 4, the law. This is the skill most people never learn. Understanding tax advantages and legal protections is what allows owners to move faster than employees. In the book, Kiyosaki compares employee income to walking as opposed to corporate income to flying. So that's pretty fast. Now comes the part that I think matters the most. If you've ever felt like you're working hard and still falling behind, this chapter explains why. It's not that you're bad with money. You're just playing the income game in a system that's designed to reward ownership. So now some practical takeaways. Number 1, always build assets. This, of course, is a running theme throughout this entire book and the only real action that you have to take if you want to be successful. Maybe revisit the history of taxes. This is just to reframe your mindset and change what you might already think about paying taxes. Understand tax advantages. Understand tax advantages that are already at your disposal because they'll help grow your income. And lastly, learn about corporations and how they're used by asset owners to protect those assets, not only from litigation, but also as a valuable tax reduction lever. This is about learning the rules of the new game you're getting ready to play. Next is chapter 5. Chapter 5 is called The Rich Invent Money, and it builds directly on this. Because once you understand control, ownership, and the rules, you start seeing opportunities completely different. So I hope this was helpful. Once again, another great chapter from the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. If you want to read along, or if you just want this book in your arsenal, then I have a link in the description below. Go ahead and check it out. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.